a father and a son who became estranged. You know, the father caught his son in a compromising position with his young wife at that time. So the father got very angry and banished the son from his presence. The son had to flee into exile to away from the wrath of the father. Eventually, peace was brokered and the son came back. Well, the father had also missed him. And when he came back, he was singing one particular song. Remember that song? Baba mi dabo agba ma wo be oroba o se yi ton agba ma wo be baba mi dabo. The father would respond agba ma wo be.
You still remember?
I don't remember that drama. President Tinubu, Nyesom Wike and Mr. Fubara, governor of Rivers State. Banner headline before me this morning: Tinubu Fubara in father-son discussion in Aso Rock.
Yes.
I know when he stepped on Mr. Wike's stool, by extension, he also stepped on President Tinubu's stools. So he has gone back now. Baba mi dabo. President Tinubu is saying that. Baba
Wube.
Ditto for Mr. Wike. And the riders, governor seeks guidance on how to avoid further crisis in Rivers State.
Yes, good boy, total good boy now.
And restates peace with Wike. 5 days after he regained his seat, Governor Similayi Fubara of Rivers State on Monday was at the presidential villa for a closed-door meeting with President Bola Tinubu to seek the president's guidance after the lifting of emergency rule in the state. Clad in a white kaftan and black cap, the governor arrived at the villa at about 6:22 p.m. and later gave an insight into what he described as a father-son discussion. Now, addressing journalists after the meeting, Governor Fubara said his visit was primarily to thank the president and reaffirm his resumption of office. You are aware, I'm quoting Mr. Fubara now, says you are aware the suspension was lifted on September 17, and I came in on the 19th. Ideally, it was proper for me to see Mr. President to inform me that I'm back and I've resumed my responsibilities as governor of Rivers State. He said responsibilities, could also be in quotes now. Part of those responsibilities is to please his godfather. He shirked that aspect of his responsibilities during his first stint. And now he's back. He must fulfill that responsibility to the fullest. And asked about his relationship with his predecessor and Minister for the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike. The governor declared, I don't know what you mean by paper peace as far as I'm concerned. We have made peace, and Fubara and his principal are working together. Now, it's referring to Mr. Wike as his principal because he was responding to a question regarding the relationship between him and Mr. Wike, and he said Fubara and his principal are working together. So not just the president is his principal now, Mr. Wike is also his principal, and they expressed deep appreciation.
Maybe you should say a principal and vice principal.
Well, I guess Mr. Wike is actually the governor, and he maybe at best he is the deputy governor of Rivers State.
Yes, and this picture I'm seeing here, you can see the meeting between him and President Tinubu. Tinubu is all here with smiles, and he is rather looking some kind of sober, you know.
I guess, like I said, like in that drama, President Tinubu has also missed Mr. Fubara. And well, in that drama, the boy's father did say that Atigba Totilo, Hila Hilumo. I remember that statement.
Yes.
That since you left, I've also not been very comfortable. So now I'm glad you are back.
Well, the governor came shortly after the president met separately with the chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum and governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, and governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma. Speaker of House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Zak Adedeji, and the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, among others. Well, I don't know, maybe there is a link there talking about finance now.
Okay, for that is been Admiral Libas has been asked to answer some questions. But still on the story of another who has temporarily lost her seat and efforts to regain that seat, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. It says senators divided over Natasha's resumption, and there's a rider. Her trial on alleged cybercrime against Akpabio stalled, rescheduled for October 20. Okay, going to the inside pages now. It says, as the Senate resumes today for plenary from its recess, indication has emerged that there is a crack among the lawmakers over the fate of their colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who was placed on suspension in March. The lawmaker representing Kogi Central was placed on 6-month suspension without pay for the Senate handing orders. The resolution of the Red Chamber, which was unanimous, was sequel to the consideration and adoption of the report of the Senator Neda Imasuen-led Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions during plenary. And the 14-member committee had recommended a 7-point punishment for the Kogi Central Senator who failed to attend his public hearing and defend herself. So we say the senators are now divided, and then there is something on cybercrime against the senator that one has been scheduled for October 20. That's a aside from the appeal filed by the senator herself against her suspension, which is the grounds on which the senators have refused to allow her resume. They said until that is determined.
And now she has gone on the offensive now. Yes, she's accusing the federal government of the double standards. Let me go through it. The lawmaker representing Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan on Monday launched a strong legal offensive against the federal government, describing the criminal defamation charges filed against her as a brazen act of political persecution and an exhibition of double standard by the federal government. And in a preliminary objection seeking the dismissal of the 6-count charge filed against her by the Attorney General of the Federation, the Kogi Senator contended that while the federal government was quick to file charges against her based on the complaint of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the same government ignored her own earlier petitions against Akpabio. Well, that's the she's trying to strike back now, through the legal means.
Well, it looks like even if she's going to go down, she wants to go down fighting. Because I've been wondering, why wouldn't she, like the one in River State, why wouldn't she go to Grandpa at Asorok? I wonder why wouldn't she reach out to Grandpa? And I don't know if Grandpa has reached out to her. Come, let's settle this with your big brother in the Senate. Come, let's settle this, and maybe she rebuffed that. I don't know if that has happened, but I think it's high time that Grandpa steps in and helps them to resolve this. After all, the situation in River State was more serious, and here we are today. Even though Mr. Fubara is bowed, though not bloodied. If he had been bloodied, you don't see him smiling from ear to ear. He's only too glad that he didn't lose everything, and maybe he lost his dignity, but then he didn't lose his seat. So I don't know if well, I'm talking from the point of view of a Nigerian and what we all know Nigerian politics to be. 2 + 2 is not necessarily equal to 4. And then when you are right, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be vindicated. So that's why I'm saying that I don't know if Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has thought this out very well. And if she wants to go the whole hog of fighting at that, like I said, even if she's going to go down, she wants to go down fighting. It looks very much like it's here. And I'm not apportioning blame. I'm not judging her. Neither am I judging the Senate president. I only think that this matter is too, how do I put it, Bimbo?
Too trivial.
Too trivial.
Yes.
For them to be dragging it like this. Is it such that the matter is so serious that it cannot be settled, whatever the grosses are. The facts of the matter have been laid bare before also, unless there are things that we do not know. So if it is those facts that we are supposed to be looking at, I see no reason why they cannot settle this amongst themselves, and I wonder why their colleagues, even up till now,
have not been talking.
And they are still taking sides. Of course, they've been talking, but they are taking sides.
Yes.
Rather than finding the way, especially the elders.
The elders. And of course, yes, I believe that some things are still being hidden. Maybe when things come to a peak, the bubble will burst. And I believe the Lion of Babylon, our President Tinubu, will still step into this matter.
Grandpa, I have a new name for him now.
Grandpa.
Considering his role in the Wike Fubara saga.
Now, there's this one which says that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has clarified that the National Assembly is not opposed to President Bola Tinubu's borrowing policy, insisting that lawmakers support borrowing as a legitimate tool for funding infrastructure and driving sustainable growth.
They've never been opposed to it, Bimbo.
Yes, they will not, because, let me just...
The last time they were opposed to it was during some point in time during the Saraki National Assembly, which was the last vibrant National Assembly that we had.
Yes. And Abbas gave the assurance on Monday in Abuja while delivering keynote address at the 8th Annual African Network of Parliamentary Budget Offices Conference, organized by the National Assembly in partnership with the National Assembly Budget and Research Office. Yes, of course, they will not oppose. How will they oppose?
This was the kind of defense that the last speaker before him, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, which he put up all that time that the Buhari government was doing its borrowing. Only now for him, now that he's out of that office, to come out and say that the Buhari government ruined the economy, especially with his policies on borrowing, which he did not oppose. So I won't be surprised when Mr. Abbas leaves office and he also toes the same line and starts saying that perhaps the Tinubu government also ruined the economy when it is convenient. He's saying this now because it is very convenient for him to say so.
But well, let's see what happens, because I think sometimes last week or 2 weeks ago, the presidency issued a statement that it will not borrow again. Let's see what happens.
Okay, somebody is tackling ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo, but from the little I know of Baba won't respond to this particular one. And he only responds when he thinks it's absolutely necessary for him to do so. But then he would probably consider this, or maybe either would not dignify it with a response. According to what he would usually say when it comes to matters like this, especially things that are seeming, I'm not saying that absolutely true, but seemingly true. Baba would rather keep quiet and then ignore. It says third term saga, Bugaji tackles Obasanjo. A member of the 7th National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Usman Bugaji, on Monday challenged former President Olusegun Obasanjo over his claim that he did not contemplate seeking a third term in office. Bugaji, who appeared on morning show and a private TV program, Arise Television to be precise, accused the former leader of being economical with the truth over the third term saga that robbed the tail end of his 2 terms of 4 years in office. Recall that Obasanjo had, at a democracy dialogue organized by the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation in Ghana last week, challenged anyone who he approached on any intent to go beyond the mandatory 2 terms allowed for the president by the Nigerian Constitution. His words: "I'm not a fool. If I wanted a third term, I know how to go about it. And there's no Nigerian dead or alive that will say I called him and told him I wanted a third term," he said. But speaking on the television program, Bugaji said there was no truth in what the former president said concerning the third term bid. According to the former member of the House of Representatives, during the Obasanjo administration, those co-opted into the plot harassed and intimidated politicians perceived as being opposed to the plot. I can confirm to you that Obasanjo looked for a third term. he did everything he could within his power to get a third term, but he failed to do so, Bugaji said. Now the fact that he did not take a telephone to make a particular call to anybody is not sufficient evidence that he did not look for a third term. Wow. Well, like I said, it's not very likely that the president would be responding.
He will not. He will not. Just treat it as a normal talk.
And it's likely to say that Bugaji is a small boy.
Small boy, yes.
As far as he is concerned.
Yes. Well, a report by the United States Department of State has alleged lack of transparency in Nigeria's public procurement contracts, categorizing her among 32 other African countries without any significant progress in the fiscal policy space. But the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, in a swift reaction, described the allegation as false and lacking in merit. Yes, they will react immediately to this allegation. And well, however, in its 2025 Fiscal Transparency Report, the U.S. noted that while Nigeria had made progress in making budget documents and debt obligations publicly available, the country's failure to disclose information on public procurement contracts raised concerns about accountability and good governance. Yes, that is what is happening to me.
Well, when you ask our government, sometimes when you ask them to be accountable, they tell you to mind your business. And they tell you that that's none of your business.
Yes. A particular governor once said the IGR being, generated by the government. Somebody asked the question, what about the IGR being generated by the government? What is going to be done about that? And despite the fact that your IGR is coming up, he said, don't worry about that one. That is none of your business. Then former governor. Then, yes. So that's that kind of
that's the mentality.
Yes.
I was still talking about the United States. Bimbo, it says U.S. threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. Well, they are always threatening them. That ban. I have not seen them implement it yet. And then if they threaten visa.
How do they recognize corrupt Nigerian leaders?
Oh, they have their facts, Bimbo. Sometimes when these corrupt leaders travel and their corruption as in one way or the other extended to their soil, that's why they pick them up sometimes and they try them and they arrest them. But then there are also double standards. There are those, when they only do that when it is convenient for them to do so. There are those that have stashed away loot in their land and are also living. They also go and come as they please, but because that loot is, they find it expedient to use for their economy, their own economic growth. In their own case, it's not the case of Olegba. You understand? When you bring your money, and the money is substantial enough to grow their economy, they use it for just that. So when it is convenience now, they could pick you up actually and accuse you of corruption, or maybe when you are gone, they start returning a fraction of the loot, and they also want to tell you how to spend it because they know we are corrupt.
Yes.
And that so well, the United States has warned that corrupt Nigerian government officials who risk visa restrictions. It's not the first time they are saying this.
Yes.
In a statement posted on its official X handle on Monday, the American government said the fight against corruption has no borders and accountability applies to all, including high-profile individuals. Fighting corruption knows no borders or limits on accountability. Even when high-profile individuals engage in corruption, they can be barred from receiving U.S. visas, the mission stated. The U.S. had in the past imposed visa restrictions on Nigerian politicians accused of undermining democratic processes and electoral malpractices. Well, I know that happened during the military era.
Yes.
But then the civilian rulers now are their friends. So I wonder just how many of them, many of them are actually corrupt, and I wonder how many of them they will be imposing visa restrictions on. And I wonder if that will also extend to their children who school in those climes. They will also turn back their children to school in those climes and make it difficult, and then they also make it difficult for the children of the poor to even access education back home.
And actually, the politicians and the military, then they had been mingling together, you know, with themselves for a long time. Yes. Now, you remember the increment in passport, international passport issuance, when I think it was increased from, I think, over some percentage, and people have been, reacting. Actually, we did reports on the increase, and I want to just give some views of some people here inside the Vanguard newspapers. Yes, they made a random sampling, and the people talked about the new passport fee. And Oluyole Yetunde, yes, she's a fashion designer. She said the new passport fee seems designed for elites, leaving average Nigerians priced out. And at a time of soaring living costs, such hikes deepen hardship. And Oladejo Mariam, a student, says while the hike may boost government revenue for national projects, many Nigerians will find it unaffordable, and this restricts ordinary citizens from obtaining passports, especially students and low-income earners. And Abimbola Olu, a nurse, she said giving passport service citizens doubt higher fees will improve efficiency, offering 5 and 10-year validity creates options, but steep costs push people towards the pricier choice. Demand for international travel may drop, affecting airlines and agencies, and some may resort to illegal passports while professionals consider permanent relocation. And also Faramilola Idris, she's a student. She said Nigerian students pursuing education abroad face heavier burdens as tuition, visas, and passport costs rise, and diaspora Nigerians also struggle with renewals, especially for family members. The increase worsens inequality. The wealthy can easily cope, while the poor risk remaining undocumented, cut off from opportunities that passports should enable. Yes, on and on. Yes, everybody has been giving his own views about the increase of the international passport just announced recently by the immigration services through the federal government.
Bimbo, Benue again. Bodies of 8 missing policemen recovered in Benue.
Policemen.
As gunmen kill APC chieftain. Oh dear. And Nigeria loses $18 billion to financial crimes yearly. And that's coming from the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. And in Osun State, court fixes September 29 to air Osun government's motion on withheld local government funds.
Well, Tola, I have this soft court here with me. Yes, it says in America, you will see names like Amma and Stone progressing in life come to Africa. Blessing is begging for data. Miracle is struggling, and wisdom has no sense. Well, yeah, see the
I see the drift. And okay, experts propose bold measures to strengthen undervalued naira, and that's just as Nigeria's GDP expands by 4.23% in Q1 of 2025 as oil industry drive growth. And okay, and there's an editorial here talking about the pointless peace deal with bandits. And it's all about the futility of trying to reason with criminals. Like I always put it, Bimbo, like trying to persuade the cobra not to bite. Inviting the cobra to your home and trying to persuade it not to bite. That's exactly what the government of Nigeria is doing. The editorial is particular about Katsina State. It says in an eloquent display of desperation arising from the government's failure to protect life and property, some local communities in Katsina State recently negotiated with bandits to maintain peace in their area and allow farmers to farm. However, judging by the history of peace efforts along this non-kinetic route, The current one too holds no promise, as the collapse of peace agreements in the past often led to renewed and more ferocious violence. But nonetheless, the communities involved in the peace deal with the criminals can hardly be blamed, as they apparently resorted to taking their destiny in their own hands in the face of official tardiness in executing its most important responsibility of protecting lives and properties. Now, some of the notorious bandits and their representatives who are on the watch list of the security agencies reportedly participated in the peace talk, with some of them heavily armed at the negotiating table. So it means for government not even to move in on them at the venue of these peace talks, it means they are not in hiding, they are negotiating openly. So it means the government also knows about these negotiations by the communities, and they must have been the ones that put the communities up to it, that just go and negotiate with them and make peace with them. And I fear a situation, I fear this situation particularly during the last administration, that seems so comfortable with crime and violence. And when that government left, I thought things would get better. You know, my most morbid fear at that time was the fact that we're on our way drifting towards having our own version of Hamas and Hezbollah. So that these elements will start dictating the pace when it comes to politics in our country. They might as well become major political stakeholders from the kid glove treatment they are getting from the government of the day. I was very much afraid of that during the last, but here we are again, and then it seems as if these people have been, like I always say, the government treats them as if they are registered trade unions, rather than the criminals that they are, rather than the cutthroats that they are, rather than the enemies of Nigeria that they are. And the question that I always say that no one has been able to answer is why? Why does the government, why is our government so comfortable, so at home with these people?
And well, I feel the Nigerian government is just being timid. Yes, just being timid. I don't know, maybe it is because of their own political interest. They don't want anything to happen to their future. Like I always say, America does not negotiate with terrorists. They will go all out to just bring them out.
Bimbo, and even where they do, Bimbo, it is always covert, Bimbo. They do it secretly, not in the full glare
of Nigerians.
They are not being grossly insensitive to the feelings of the relations of those who have died at the hands of these people. The Nigerian government does that, and they believe that well, we have done it and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes.
This has come to stay and you must accept it. There's another a column here by one of the columnists in the Nigerian Tribune, and it's titled Befriending Bandits, and I just want to read how he started the piece in that column this morning. It says, the photograph is graphic, the message is obvious, the semiotics are unmistaken. A bandit in military fatigue sits comfortably. On his lap is an AK-47 assault rifle. Around his neck are various communication gadgets. His look betrays his hubris. He is a man of power. His confidence shows who is in charge. It is audacity in its illiterate form. And then another man in a native attire bends towards the bandit. He smiles sheepishly. He holds a handset. In a very suggestive manner, the caption tells the entire story. Nigerian government official exchange contacts. Nigerian government official exchanged contact with the bandits after a peace deal meeting in Subua local government area in Katsina State. Even if this must be Bimbo, must still be the full glare of the people who are the victims of these evil ones. That is what I do not get, Bimbo. Even if you are going to do this, so they see that as an achievement. Ratifying crime, ratifying armed robbery,
ratifying banditry.
So they think because they have secured that peace deal that they count it as one of their achievements. Oh, really?
That's why I say we are all criminals, bandits, terrorists, all of them. They are criminals.
And I'm sorry, if you are in government,
yes.
If you are in government and you are part of this, you are a criminal.
Yes. Yes, all
and
of
the
them
bandits yourself.
Criminals.
The proposed 5% petroleum tax threatens food security, may cripple poultry business. That's according to farmers.
It is still being proposed. Let's see, maybe it might be swept under the carpet at the end of the day, if it is true, if this allegation is true.
If it's something that is going to make you more uncomfortable, it is not going to be swept under the carpet. It is those ones that will make you comfortable that will be swept under the carpet.
Okay, now this one is coming from Kwara State now, and Kwara State again, and terrorists again in Kwara State, and it says suspected terrorists have launched another deadly attack in the state, abducting a woman and a teenage girl during a midnight raid on Maganeko Ndanagi, a community under the Lafiagi Emirate in Edu local government area. And Punch Metro learned that the heavily armed gunmen stormed the community around midnight on Sunday, shooting sporadically into the air to scare residents before whisking away their victims. Well, a resident who spoke under anonymity said the hoodlums operated freely without resistance. Well, they must have, done their homework. And like I always say, what do they want? Well, they abducted this married woman, the kidnapped woman called Aisha, and popularly known as Gugu, and a 16-year-old girl named as Amina, and they took them away to an unknown location. The residents narrated, and yes, we know that these ones, they want money. I don't know how rich the families of those abducted are, but we know they want money. I always say that, what do all these people, what do they want? Killing people, maiming people, kidnapping people?
After they might have rescued them, if at all they are able to rescue them, they should call them to government house again and start offering them. That story we read about that meeting with them bandits in Katsina. Of course, the man must have negotiated from a point of strength, and it is the government that will be capitulating to his every demand. And they make nonsense out of the efforts of those troops out there on the front line and laying down their lives so that you and I can live. They make these politicians, they make nonsense out of all those efforts. It says that troops prepare a swap attack, safeguard 10,000 households in Borno, but very soon the politicians, they will make nonsense out of that again.
Yes.
Okay, U.S. sports rights opportunities for Nigerian students in American universities. FCC Minister rallies global support for women at the UN Forum.
Yes, Chief Executive Officer of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA, Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa retired. You remember him? He was a former military administrator of Lagos State. He's now the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. He is asking families to acquire drug test kits at home. Says early intervention necessary to prevent full-blown addiction among youths.
Especially these days of the Gen Z.
Yes, Gen Z,
never can tell.
But there are some families that I know that they will not, especially the rich, they might be living under the same roof with their youths, their kids, but the kids will be doing some things that should not be done, and they will know that they are, engaged in such acts, but they will not react. They will just see it as maybe youthful exuberance that the youth will, overcome it at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it will be, at the other side.
All right. Let's have this commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Conversation.
gbogbo ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló mọ rírì ètò ìṣèjọba omi tuntun lábẹ́ ìṣàkóso ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà Olúṣèyí Abíọ́dún Mákindé pàápàá lẹ́ka ètò ìlera tó péjú owó pẹ̀lú ìbámu ọmọdé aláboyún àtàwọn ìyálọ́mọ tí wà lálàáfíà ní ìtẹ̀síwájú àgbéyé àti àwòye àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀bí oúnjẹ fọ́mọ tuntun jòjòló lómi ọyàn ìyá rẹ̀ fóṣù mẹ́fà àkọ́kọ́ ní kété ìbímọ láàrin wákàtí kan ìgbẹ̀bí ọmọ rẹ̀ nílé ìwòsàn gbọ́mọ tuntun jòjòló sọ́yàn fún ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjípépé ọpọlọ okun àti agbára lẹ́yìn eléyìí fọ́mọ rẹ̀ lọ́yàn pọ́nbélé láì fi omi àgbo tàbí oúnjẹ kankan ṣe àfikún bó ti wulẹ̀ kó mọ fóṣù mẹ́fà gbáko àǹfààní eléyìí lọ́mọ tuntun jòjòló yóò fi wà ní ìlera tó jí pépé ọmọ tuntun tó mọ yàyà rẹ̀ fóṣù mẹ́fà lọ́pọlọ rẹ̀ máa ń dàgbà ìdènà àwọn àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn ìgbàláyè àwọn èròjà aṣaralóore àti afáralókun fi yàtọ̀ láàrin àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ ìyálọ́mọ tó ń pèsè ọjọ́ iwájú rere fọ́mọ rẹ̀ ní sàmúlò ìlànà gbígbọ́mọ sọ́yàn fóṣù mẹ́fà àkọ́kọ́ kọ́mọ lè dàwòye ìkéde ìlú wa látọ̀dọ̀ ikọ̀ àrùn àti ilé-iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
I am malaria, the king of malaria parasites. My mission is simple, to take over your body, to cause fever, chills, headache. But one thing stands in my way. Come on.
Effective relief from malaria. Comal on malaria gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
Conversation.
Right, we're back, and it's good to know you're still there. The program is still Conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Time to open the phone lines. It's your turn. Your contributions on any of the headlines we've taken this morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tola, Mr. Bimbo.
Good morning, Mr. John.
John calling from Ilorin.
Good to have you.
Quickly on the Senate leadership, want Napata to say sorry and bow to them and possibly withdraw his appeal of suspension in court. Well, Kogi people does not apologize, especially when they see no reason for doing so. We are always very stubborn, especially when we find out we are on our right. Natasha being an Igbira woman, I doubt if she will do so. I would have loved her to say sorry because of his people. She has been a good woman, and she's a senator of the Kogi Center, where Magongo, my own town, also fall under it. She has been a good woman. I would have loved her to say sorry, mend friends, and go back so that she can continue her good work. But I doubt it if she will do so. The leadership of the Senate, Mr. Tola, you said, what about the elders in the Senate? They should come with in and settle it. Which elders are in the Senate? Which elders? Do you see any elders who will come to settle it? No elders in the Senate, they are the same. They are there for the same purpose, to get something to share. That's all. No elders in the Senate, no elders in the Senate. Lastly, on President Obasanjo, say anybody dead or alive should come out and say he told him he wanted third. With due respect, Baba, you wanted it. You were using policy. You have your foot soldier who were going around trying to talk to some senators. Their evidence are there, so don't deny it. You wanted it. You just drop the idea when you find out that Nigeria is not Eritrea. Nigeria is not Cameroon, where a dead living man, a living dead man is ruling there. That is where you drop the idea. Enjoy your day, sir. Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. John.
I like Mr. John. He admitted that Kogi people are stubborn.
Well, I hope Senator Natasha will not disappoint Mr. John. Remember, she's a politician, after all. Yes, a good woman, according to Mr. John, but she's also a politician.
Yes.
And when it is expedient for her to say sorry, maybe she might just want to say sorry.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson. Good morning, Mr. Bimbo. Calling from Canada.
Good to have you.
Let me start with Papa Obasanjo saying that not everybody there to ask question. One thing is, he's just fighting a lost battle. Everybody knows he wanted a daughter. So since 1999, I think he has been the best president we've had since 1999, which is very unfortunate for us to be referring to 1999 to 2007 as our best era. But one thing is, you remember the time he was choosing Ribadu and L5 to launch his campaign. Then he comes to press conferences and he starts telling us about Malaysia. How Malaysia developed under what's the name of this man in Malaysia? And Indonesia, how they develop, how you know that in Kuan Yu, they'll be telling us stories, press conferences. Then his daughter too, Yabo, came and was telling us how we place in Philippines. He wanted the daughter, but he didn't get it. So he was choosing person. So we are not fools. But some people who choose to believe him can believe him. Then Mr. Bimbo is strong on saying rich kids are taking drugs. Yes, rich kids are taking it, but in the last 10, 20 years, most take drugs most are working from report homes, average homes. You will not know. I've seen a lot. You will not know that they're taking it. They are more dangerous than those rich kids. Those rich kids can be contained, they can take them to rehab center. Poor kids cannot, they cannot take them to rehab centers and all that. And average people go to UI there, Lampec, Oluyole. I've seen a lot. Their mom, their dad will not know they are taking drugs. So, and they are taking it. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 070-5555-1985 number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alaji.
This is Alaji Ayelabugu, calling from Lalate.
Good to have you, sir.
I think Natasha should play a sort of maturity. You see, when you're a politician and you're in the midst of men, there are some things that you will overlook. And she should borrow a leaf from Senator Remi Tinubu. You know, at one time, the president of Senator and then told that he's good at preaching. All this kind of comments. And he know how to play it maturely. He should have done more than that than what Natasha has done, but she had the interest of his people at the back of her mind. That is what Natasha should do. If it allow her to bow to the Senate, he should do so because of his people. He represents his senatorial district, and as such, look now, for 6 months, he was unable to get anything. He was unable to represent our people over there. And he should rethink. Once you go for politics, all this time, to me, I don't think he has a concrete evidence. No video tape to show that they are doing any bad thing to you. In fact, that's my own view. But you should rethink. Have the interest of your people at the back of your mind. Thank you, Alaji Olagogo from Lalate.
Right, thank you, Alaji. Well, I remember the face-off between Senator Tinubu and Senator Dino Melai, where Senator Dino Melai said all sorts of unprintable things to his female colleague. But then she did handle it with quite a lot of maturity, like Alaji said. And then she didn't, well, aside from the exchange on the floor of the Senate, she didn't take it further than that.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Tola, Mr. Bimbo, please pardon me.
Okay.
John calling back. Like Alaji Ayelabugu rightly said, what I was saying is that a typical Kogi man does not apologize when there is no need to do so. But I said it clearly that I would have loved her to apologize, bow to them because of his people. There are things you don't take. You take it because of the love you have for your people. Someone will say, I don't take shit. You may not take it, but if it will be to the advantage of your children, then you can take it. Not that you are a fool. So if I have my way, Natasha should have done it long time ago because you are suspended without pay for 6 months and you are not getting any bill on ground for them to even work on for your constitution. So that is what I'm saying. I am not saying it will disappoint me if she apologizes, but I would have loved her to apologize and let it go. If not, Natasha may not return to that Senate
All right, thank you, Mr. John. 07055551985. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Exactly what I've continued to do. Sorry, I think I'm calling from everyone.
Okay.
That is exactly what I've continued to say. That I needed to have gone behind certain closed doors. I beg, simple. It won't take anything from you. And what is the issue? Trivial something. Getting to appeal court. Then, whoever is not pleased with the judgment of appeal court, we still go to the Supreme Court. Or what are we talking about? And I said it, she may not return to the National Assembly until the expiration of this term. It's taking too long now. Trivial issue like this, it might have done starting to number 3 citizen of the country in accused of sexual something. It's taking too long. You should beg. Simple. Akitola from Urua.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll keep the calls coming. I have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I am Ademola from Ibadan.
Sorry, Mr. Demola.
Concerning the matters Natasha said, the feeling which is fairly divided on Natasha and something. They should not. We think in the past Natasha is devoted. And on instruction, we know the judiciary will decide. So the judiciary should decide. It is very urgent. Because Natasha needs to ensure economic growth for Kogi and others. And concerning the United States of America and corrupt people, you see some people, they are not corrupt. And the United States should allow them. And they should, we hope they will not penalize them. You see, some people need to go to the US and they need to come to Nigeria. So, and some people are corrupt. So we hope the government will not relent in discovering the corrupt people, new routes, and their activities. So, and on the cost of transportation and cost of passport. So I think the government can deal with the cost or the cost because people want cheaper products. And we hope the government, the aviation industry will address the matter. It should be addressed by the aviation industry. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Just one more call here now.
And I'm for our last caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. William.
I'm Ahmed Nwore.
Good to have you.
I'm Nacheta. It's not a charge. He cried. He's crying. He said, "You should not cry again, no." He stopped. He said, "You should come and beg me again," and that's something. Nacheta will not beg anybody. They should go to hell. Where they hold their money. So what another way happened? He said, "You come and beg." 2 minutes are there on the matter. That is the matter. On Abbas, say they support borrowing. When they borrow money, they have share. They say the Nigerian, then Nigeria system for you. Thank you, boys.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, check the time is 7:30. Been an interesting time on conversation, and we have to go. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your day.
Conversation.